Have you checked the children? You're a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Sharknado. I mean, the horror show.
Thank the gods of the sea. I'm Jaime Fuego, and we are finally laying to rest the Sharknado franchise for Heather Smith. Gracias, and thank you so very much for tormenting us and putting us through all of this. But yes, we are about to talk the last Sharknado. It's about time. I don't even think they gave it the digit numbering on this one. They weren't like Sharknado 6. Yeah, because this is the sixth Sharknado.
Yep.
Yeah. But so as we joked about in our previous review, when you've already gone all across the United States and the world and space and everything else, what else can you do but jump back in time? And so
Start from the beginning and work your way to the future.
And we got a tease of this at the end of the previous film where Gil shows up and it's Dolph friggin' Lundgren, and he's in like there were so many different references to like Back to the Future and other time travel stuff, and so. Yeah, Dolph Lundgren obviously did just a cameo in the fifth one because he's not in this movie. Yeah. And apparently, according to the mythology in this at least, you can only travel back in time once. And so, yeah, a lot of characters that were killed in previous installments, like Vivica A. Fox and the baseball buddy from the second one, he shows up in this, and a few other characters.
Like,
so
almost all of them come
just
back.
about, yeah, or at least at the very end when we tie everything up and wrap it with a nice little bow on top.
Yeah, because Gil goes because he gets taken by the Sharknado and learns that
in 5, yep,
he's able to jump back, and so he went back in time,
like
and
way back. How far are we going back? Way back,
and saved people and brought them to other parts of time with them, so that way that Finn would be able to follow the breadcrumbs and save everybody all the way and bring them back to the future and save the world.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because Finn, as we see at the end of the previous movie, Global Swarming, he's in this like Mad Max post-apocalyptic where the entire Earth is destroyed. And him. So, yeah, when Gil Lundgren shows up and takes him back in time, so to speak, you know, roads where we're not going, where we're going, we don't know, boats where, I don't know, I'm trying verbatim bullshit at this particular point. But, so, time travel, and the only way that they can set the timeline right is if you stop the first Sharknado. And so, yeah,
But they never really did, right?
No, well, this is where I was going to ask you, because it was so convoluted and derpy. I'm like, okay, so is the first Sharknado, like, it keeps trying to happen in this time period, they avert it in this time period, and then they have to stop the first one in a later time period, then they have to stop it in a later time period? That's really the only way I could explain the silliness of this film, because they're like, okay, we're going to hit up all of the most beloved time periods for fish out of water sort of situation. So they go to medieval times, and you've got Homie from the RuPaul drag race, who was the Princess Dark Arts, whatever. And you also had Marina Sirtis, another cameo. So she played Deanna Troi in Star Trek TNG. So she's in that, and she still looks very lovely. So props to her for taking care of herself and everything. But then you jump to Revolutionary War times, and you've got Ben Stein is in a cameo there, and it's him and George Washington have like this little rivalry pit, which is so derpy. And then you go Wild Wild West, and you have friggin' Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, and he's like, I'm not gonna take it anymore.
Yep. And then that's where Vivica J. Fox comes back to.
Yes. It's nice to see her.
And it just keeps going and going and going until you find out it was
because we
Tara
meet
Reid
Finn's
the whole
parents.
time.
Oh yes, that's right, because we do eventually go forward.
Did I just ruin it? Spoiler.
Well, whatever. At this point, we've done this whole damn series. You eventually go forward in time. And
we're spoiling everything.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, it's the end of the... Like, if there's any time we should spoil the entire friggin' franchise, it's in this final bit of coverage.
Sorry.
And so, Tara Reid's character at the end of 5 was left to just
had a head.
A shell of, like, just her robotic head, everything else after she did the whole spin thing and kind of saved a bunch of different stuff, but yet didn't quite save the entire planet, unfortunately. But we get her original non-altered form
Right.
when we go back in time, and so her, along with all those other deceased characters, and
And
that
Finn's
get
been
to
carrying
return.
around the robot head the whole time, which is very weird.
And then once we go forward in time, we find out that Robo Reed has essentially taken over and is ruling the world. And so I'm sure it's some late 90s prepubescent boy's wet dream of
Yeah.
having a whole robot of Fembot, a whole legion of Fembot Reeds to,
It was
kind
almost
of
like, what,
descend upon
Terminator
them.
reference-y to maybe Matrix.
Definitely.
A
Little of both.
bit.
This franchise, it borrows from so much, but I guess since it's deliberate camp and, homage and stuff like that, it's okay.
The
I'm
machines
not
are
gonna...
taking over. Even the sharks were machines. It was like, okay.
But I will say one of the only interesting things as far as taking it to a little bit more of a serious territory was we kind of swim back to Nova and the fact that her grandfather was killed by a shark.
That's true.
And so that's why she hates them so much and wanted to assist Finn with, this sort of ritualistic cleansing or, massacre of sharks, whatever you want to call it. And so she does face late in the movie a crossroads of whether she wants to potentially change her present by altering the past, and if she wants to save her grandfather. And so she faces that situation. And then, of course, Tara Reid shows up and it mucks everything up, and, she doesn't have to be as decisive as she needs to. So, but then everything is saved and averted, and we basically jump back timeline-wise to the very beginning, at least as far as... period goes of the first film. We're back at Finn's bar. You get Sugar Ray friggin' shows up there and he's taking over the bar, and you have Gary Busey. You've got the older son, played by the original actor because they recast in one of the later ones, if I remember correctly, when you had him in Kansas. And I mean, it sends home a nice, sweet message of family and love and forgiveness and trying to move on with your life, trying to do something better with your life. Nova is actually trying to go back to school as opposed to staying in bartending. And so, I will give them some credit at least for the fact that they tried to push away the camp and
super happy ending.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do the super mega happy ending.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I watched them. I guess.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, but. So many friends have, and just, other people we've seen at conventions and other horror peeps and stuff have told me, they're like, you haven't watched Sharknado? They're so bad that they're good. I guess for some of the entries, I would say that is the case. This is probably the derpiest and dumbest out of all of them.
It was really hard to watch this one, I'm not going to lie.
I think it's the worst of the
an
franchise.
advocate this whole time. I'm like, I'm hanging on, I'm having fun. But this one, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's...
Exactly. So that is our cue to wrap up the Sharknado coverage, everybody. Once again, thank you so very much, Heather Smith, for the, kind of pushing us along to go
it's
from
been a journey.
The shallow water into the deep depths of Sharknado. And I guess I'm all the better for it, or at least more well-versed to be able to shoot the shit about this at a convention or online. But the comment section, so there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that we got it done, and I'm sure as us being horror fanatics, we should have it done, and I'm sure it's expected to have watched them. I mean, and I did enjoy them to an extent, but I am glad I finished it, and I can say I've watched them and talk about it, and it has been a journey, and a journey I shared with my little one, so that's fun too, and hopefully that they will, remember it and watch it again one day, or be like, why did my mom make me watch this? Yeah,
it is forever committed to the interwebs, and so
it'll be there.
But I to kind of quote Jaws verbatim, I'm kind of glad I don't have to go back to the water anytime soon, unless because they will probably do another one of these at some point. I wouldn't.
And it'll be Heather's waiting for it, and she'll be like,
I'm
Patron.
not. Yeah. I wouldn't hold my breath, and to think that that's not going to happen at one particular point. But look forward to us doing Lavalantula, which is in the same universe.
Yep.
Yeah, same sci-fi. Gutenberg, that's the next thing that we were doing for Media Kraken. So if you are seeing this on YouTube, make sure to jump over and become a patron. Tell us what to do, what to review. We appreciate the support, and yeah, lots of different tiers and lots of different coolness to check out there. Stay tuned for, yes, the crazy sister film that at least stays on land, but yeah, we will get to that at some particular point soon.
Just as ridiculous, but we got it.
Indeed. So, a grande gracias once more, Fright fans. Jaime Fuego here.
Marcia Parker.
Damn Reezy. And remember, Fright fans,
Stay scared.